What's up, everybody? It's me, Johnny, and with me, I've got DJD
Howdy.
and Craig. What's up, Craig?
Hi, Craig.
No farmer this week. D, no farmer this week.
He's back from vacation. He doesn't have an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, like immediately doing like a festival like yesterday or whatever. But like, come on,
You know
stop
what-
being lazy, farm.
You know why he's not here? He's mourning the death of Xbox.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Oh, let's jump into that. Yes.
Yeah, let's
Yes.
just jump into it. He's mourning the death of Xbox.
The
And
Xbox
before
is
you say
apparently
it,
dead.
it's over. It's over.
It's over.
We had a good run.
Yeah.
But it was called by Alteric in our Discord.
Well, no, that wasn't even it though. Like everybody was kind of saying that, like meaning a little bit after the Game Pass hikes, which we'll get into, I'm sure. But then somebody started spreading a rumor that because of Costco and I guess Sam's Club no longer carrying Xbox consoles, that they were going to stop production entirely on Series consoles, and that they also had canceled any future hardware, or were at least like considering it or whatever. And so someone started that rumor, and that rumor started flying. Like I saw big accounts all over the place, like reposting that rumor. And then like
it's interesting because Costco's in Japan do not carry Xboxes, period. I didn't know that they carried Xboxes elsewhere.
Honestly, I didn't either. I saw that they carried gift cards. I didn't realize that they carried the console. But
they carried PlayStation 5s and Nintendo Switches here, but not Xboxes. But there's not a lot of Xbox in Japan, just period. I mean, I say that. I feel like Xbox Game Pass in Japan, they were selling Series S's bundled with Game Pass, but I feel like it's much more of a PC push in this market than a console push kind of thing.
Well, and that kind of goes along with their strategy, right? As of late. But yeah, so like the rumor over the weekend was like, yeah, Xbox is dead. They canceled their new hardware. They're just fully third party now. And so I think it was Windows Central that reached out and got word first from reliable sources that like, no, that's not true at all. And then a Microsoft spokesperson put out a statement saying, no, that's not true. We're still committed to our deals in place with like AMD and to our hardware that we're currently working on.
Yeah, it's so. Why don't we talk about the Game Pass hikes? What is
sure,
so?
Yeah.
Do you have them? You have them up in front of you? You have before you talk about them. I will say this, and let's just get the statement right off the bat. DJD statement right here. You're hearing it from DJD right here on a Navcast. You have said for I don't know the past 3 years, I would say 4 years, that Game Pass is the best deal in gaming.
Yes.
Do you still feel that way with these new Game Pass hikes? Okay. Go ahead. You want to talk about these hikes?
So, Game Pass prior to this week was, I think, what was core? Like $7.99 a month or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
In US pricing. And then the standard was like $11.99 or something like that. Yeah. Well, no, standard 15. I think was a little bit cheaper, wasn't it?
No, I think it was 15, and then I think, or maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
I think it was like $12.99 or something, because Ultimate was $17.99 or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm rounding up. It was like $20 for Ultimate. Yeah.
Or $20 for Ultimate. Yeah. Actually, no, you're right. I think the previous hike moved it to 20. But
I think it was 20, 15, and like 10, give or take. Was their pricing strategy. Like whatever, but like about we'll ballpark it.
Okay, so essentially, then those bottom two, like the bottom two tiers of the restructure of Game Pass, which I want to be clear in calling that a restructure because it very much is. are essentially the same price as the two previous tiers at $9.99 and $14.99.
Yes.
And then Ultimate, the highest tier of the new Game Pass structure, is now $29.99 instead of
They raised
$19.99.
$10.
They raised it $10. Well, raised, quote unquote. Yeah. I mean, I think you could fairly call it a raise because Ultimate definitely had the least amount of changes to it.
Mhm.
Because Ultimate is like everything, right? So I
It
think
gets
that's
Fortnite crew, which you could say that's the reason. But in the end, I will say this. This is like a credit card with annual fees. And they're like, oh, but look, we're adding all of these new features, which increases its value. Therefore, the annual fee is higher. But there's also a degree of like, we didn't ask for any of these features. We didn't
sure.
ask for you to raise the price. And now the plan that we want is not here anymore. So it feels like a raised price. But you could
Right.
argue that the value has been added with like the Fortnite pass and all that stuff.
Well, Fortnite crew, and it gets Ubisoft Classics, Ubisoft Plus Classics, which
What is
is
that? Didn't we already
that's
have
like
Ubisoft? Oh no, we had EA Play. So
yeah,
now
we
you
had
get
EA
the
Play,
Ubisoft stuff too.
which is still included.
Ah,
But now
yeah.
you get Ubisoft Plus Classics, which I'll have to look up to see like how many games that has or whatever. But that has a number of like classic Ubisoft games on it, hence the name. Which is normally like an $8 a month
hmm
uh
So you're still
subscription.
getting a great deal.
So essentially it looks like it's an evolving selection of games is what it
hmm
says.
hmm
Now classics also used to only be available on PC, and now it looks like it includes console. So that's kind of
That's
neat
cool.
because like yeah, and it includes like things like Monopoly or Skull and Bones, that quadruple A game, or Prince of Persia: The
Yeah.
Lost
Oh wow.
Crown, which is literally actually a really good game.
Is
Or
that the new Prince of Persia game?
yeah, that's the platformer Prince of Persia game. Yeah,
No, but there
or
is
Far
a
Cry
very
6,
new
or
one. There's a very new one. Is that the one we're talking about? Which Prince of Persia is? I actually am a fan of the Prince of Persia franchise. Hold on, Prince of Persia. What is it? The Lost Crown.
The Lost Crown. That's the one
Oh
that
yeah,
you
no,
played, I
okay,
think,
that's the
that
one
you
I
liked.
played.
Yeah,
I love, oh,
yeah,
man, I love that game. So good.
yeah. It's actually a really good game. Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Immortals Phoenix Rising. I still think Immortals Phoenix Rising underrated. Just comes out in a very crowded market, you know.
The best,
Division 2.
the best. What game did Phoenix Rising? It was a ripoff. What was it?
It was
Is it
kind
a
of a
Breath of the
ripoff
Wild
of
ripoff?
Breath of the Wild a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
best Breath of the Wild reskin. I loved it. Great.
or Ghost Recon Breakpoint, or like a bunch of older games, right? So it's not like these are all like super old, like classic games. You know, For
No, here's
Honor's
the thing that
included in
hurts.
here.
They are
Watch Dogs
classic.
too.
See, that's what hurts. They are
Yeah.
classics now.
Man, don't make
Yeah,
me cry. I actually
gut
had
punch,
a
gut punch, gut punch for like it's when you're like, man, I waited for a midnight release of the game 3 games before this one, and this one's classic. Oh no, oh no.
so I had a client who at my dojo who looked down at my name tag and saw my start date and went, "Oh my gosh, I was one when you started working here."
Oh,
And
I don't
I
like that.
almost died on the spot. Like that was like what? Like really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you were
But
like those are words of violence. Anyway, go ahead.
so Classics isn't a bad collection. It just doesn't include everything, right? Whereas their
hmm
premium subscription does include everything on day one, plus DLC, which is actually one of the cool things that I think Ubisoft subscription service does a little bit better. However, with Classics being included in Ultimate, I immediately canceled my premium because I'm like,
Right.
why? Like, I mean, like most of these games, like the base games, are going to be included in my Game Pass Ultimate now. That sounds
Yeah.
cool, you know. Game Pass Ultimate also includes 75 plus day one games a year now, which, in comparison, I think. Oh man, I saw a chart on this recently. I want to say there was something like 56 last year and like 60 something the previous year.
Which,
So
to be
75 is
fair, I want to set 75
higher.
is a lot. And let's be clear, that
Yeah,
is more than one new game a week. There's only 52
that is
weeks in a
true.
year.
Yeah.
That is a whole new game a week. I mean, granted, we don't know the release schedules, right? But like, it's too many games for you to play in a year, to be honest. Like, it's for you to really realistically have time to play. It's too much.
Yep. And that also is every year going forward is basically what the plan is, which is kind of insane and kind of
Mhm.
explains why the price hike is happening. It just also begs the question now of whether those games will be worth it to the consumer, right? Of like,
Right.
okay, like that's really cool that they're like it's kind of like when Netflix like goes, hey, we're raising the price and we're so that we can fund more of original shows, and then like you don't necessarily know what the quality of those original shows is going to be. Like, I mean, it's kind of like that,
Right.
where like we don't know what the quality of these 75 plus day one games a year are. Like, are they going to be like AAA titles? I'm sure some of them will. Like, I mean, I
Right.
guarantee some of
It-
them will. But I mean, like, that's a lot of games. Like,
but even
are
10 out of 70 is not a lot.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
They
that and
also. Oh no, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead. Just keep going.
Okay. They also have unlimited cloud gaming at their best quality with the shortest wait times, which means up to 2K uh, visuals fidelity over
Which you tried
cloud
it.
gaming, which
Which
I've
you tried
tried
it.
it. It is much improved over cloud gaming. I played, I think, like 4 or 5 games on cloud gaming like a month ago, and there was still like the latency problem is pretty minimal now, I would say. Like even like shooters, I would say you can play. I mean, I don't know how well you can play at them. I guess that's a skill issue. But I mean, like,
I actually looked at cloud gaming, and one of the top games is Helldivers 2 on cloud gaming for like remote
which that
place
was so
cloud
weird
stuff.
that it went to cloud gaming. Like that's so weird to me. But I'm down for it. Don't get me wrong, but that's a
Yeah.
PlayStation game. Like I mean, like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, but it's really cool that you can take it with you. Uh, but like also though the main problem that cloud gaming has suffered from is visual fidelity, where like there would just be tremendous screen tearing all the time. Like not all the time, but anytime that there was significant action on the screen or anything. I tried a number of games that normally would struggle a lot with visual fidelity, and they worked great with the new cloud gaming, like 1080 at least, which was really cool. But that's also one of those things where is that good enough to like justify it? I don't know. Like all these things added together, it starts to sound like kind of yes, you know? But I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's still a tough, like, you still got to weigh it, I guess, with how much you care about those things, even combined. Uh, and then,
And
of
maybe
course,
they
they
have
have
access
those,
to metrics we don't know, right?
right.
Because this is the
Yeah.
first thing I would say right off the bat. Does anyone actually use cloud gaming? And before
Right.
you say
That's
yes,
my question. Yeah.
before you say yes, right? It's like, so all of the recommendations for cloud gaming of
Mm,
like having good internet and all of this stuff is it's like at this point, don't people just download the game? Like when you have all of those boxes checked, why not just have the game downloaded, right? Like if I'm going to be home where I have stable internet and all that stuff, why am I not just playing on my Xbox? Why is the game not just downloaded? Why am I streaming it? And I know there can be weird circumstances, but is it really like a mass thing that lots of people are playing cloud gaming? You know what I mean? It just kind of blows my mind. The biggest thing
well,
for me was when I had an
mm,
Xbox One X, I could do cloud gaming to play series games, right?
right.
On my
Yeah.
Xbox One X. So that was cool. And I did use it for that. And it was terrible, right? It was so bad, I instead bought a Series S and then a Series X
Right.
later. But granted, it has improved. So like they would have access to that to know if it was worth it, right? Of like, okay, this is how many people are using the cloud gaming service, and so like we want to beef it up or not. But to me, I don't know anybody who uses it really.
Sure. So like, there's two things I'll say there. one, I haven't tried this on mobile yet, or like away from like good internet, right? I've only tried this at home. Um, so I don't necessarily know whether the fidelity stays constant. Like if you're like on your phone or like out, like, you know, at an airplane lot or something like that, you know, I mean, like, it might
Right, the
possibly
times that you would
because
use
like,
it, right?
yeah.
In my opinion, the
But
times you'd use it
also
when you'd
I
be
would
out
say
about.
there are like two occasions like that would kind of make its use worth it. I feel like at home for me, as someone who's like internal storage and my card are both full of games, is like don't have to download it, which Call of Duty is like what, like 400 gigs now? It's like a ridiculous amount. Most games that are coming out are like 100 to 200 gigs now. Destiny is like 170, I think, or something like that. Like, I mean, like, there's a number of games out that like take up significant room, and it would be just easier to like not have that taking up so much room, especially if it's not a game I play that often, but I still want to play it. And then also to try out games without like
Right.
committing to the install would be nice. And then like the whole like yeah, essentially those two things I think would be the main things. Like that I could see like it kind of being worth like having a good experience, because I would agree with you. I would say prior to this, I would not qualify cloud gaming as good. I would have qualified it as it works. But I
It
mean,
works.
like, you know, like,
Well,
I mean, like, yeah, like in terms of like like I would much rather like there are games that I would like play on cloud gaming and then immediately stop playing and install, because it's like, no, I don't want to do this on cloud. Like the screen tearing's too much. I want to actually see the game, you know? I mean, like,
right.
yeah.
Well, and so my
Um,
thing with it, even with that, is that you are also, I would say that you're basically a power user too, in that like most people do not have the amount of games you have, or if they do, they don't keep them installed. Right. So like I have a 12-year-old son. I'll use him as a test here. And while he would love to keep all of his games installed, realistically, he only plays like 3 games and he plays a lot of video games, right? Like, and it's not
mm,
hard for him to prioritize and have those things downloaded of like, okay, he's really playing Helldivers, he's really playing Monster Hunter, and he's playing Apex. Okay, well, you need to uninstall something. And immediately he was like, I'll just take Fortnite off. I haven't played Fortnite in a while, right? Like, and he gets into that thing of like, he doesn't seem to need to have all of that. Like, I feel a little different. I have a little bit of a harder time, getting stuff set up that way. But
I
I
would say I'm
don't
a power
think that
user.
that's the
I,
case,
I don't
but
think it's insane though.
I could
Like
be wrong.
if you have a Series S though, you have a 500 gig console. You can install like what, like 4 games? You
Well,
know, that's not very many.
that's what he's
Yeah.
playing on. That's what he's
Yeah.
playing on. He's playing on a Series S.
Yeah.
And so like it's not very many, but it's enough that like I get it, but also I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I would want to play um on cloud, but again, it's kind of getting better. So I guess there's that, right? But
Yeah.
I did not read the article, but I saw that a lot of people canceled their Game Pass Ultimate after this announcement. Someone
Yes.
posted an article about it.
It
I
seems
am
that
one of
way.
those
Yeah.
people. I am one of those people. I canceled. I've been doing month to month Game Pass here in Japan Ultimate. To be honest, I I don't really use it all that much, right? And at that time, I would get because like I wanted online gaming, but then it's like, okay, well, if I have to pay for core, I might as well pay for Game Pass, and like if the difference is just $5, I might as well get Ultimate, right? Like before, the tiered system was a bit weird, but now like $30 is different than $20 a month. A
Yes, it
$30
is.
month
It is.
subscription
Yeah.
feels really different than a $20 month subscription. I mean, that's what through $360 a year, right? What is the current price for games? Is it 70 or is it 80 now?
It's 70 now, but it will be going to 80. I mean, some games are 80, but like right now the standard is kind of still 70.
Let's say it's 70, right? That's just over 5 new full price games a year. that you're paying.
AAA. Yeah.
AAA games. Do you buy 5 AAA games a year?
I would say that
is a
even with
very
Game Pass, I still buy, but I'm again a power user.
well.
Yeah,
Well, I think that that's a really valid question to ask somebody.
sure.
Do you buy more than it's like 5.1? So let's just say 5. Do you buy 5 games a year? Because I don't. Right? I buy 3 this year. I haven't bought as many games, and I also know that my situation is different than everybody, and so man, it's a lot harder to justify the price. So yeah, I'm one of them. I downgraded to the basic plan, even not even premium, and I'm just hoping that which on the basic plan, I forget you get like way less games and all that stuff. But the truth is, I don't play the games on Game Pass very much.
Well,
The only Game Pass game I have installed is Expedition 33.
so with I will say that's where we kind of come to the good news a little bit. Um, with every tier, they've added online console multiplayer, which used to be a thing that wasn't available
Right.
on every tier.
Yep.
Which was stupid. I like
This is
that.
really stupid. You either
Yeah.
had to have core, which you didn't have access to Game Pass, or you had to have Ultimate.
Right.
The regular middle level of Game Pass didn't have online as part of the bundle. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
And then no, you're fine. That's like an important part to clarify. Also, they're including
doesn't make sense.
PC, console, and cloud gaming all in that tier now. Instead of just console, which I kind of like because like that kind of reframes like what Xbox is, and I think like with their new marketing strategy, it does make it clearer. Because I thought it was always kind of a little bit weird, and granted, it isn't going away yet, but I would expect it to probably to have like PC Game Pass be like this separate thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now with Essential, you get 50 plus games, which is more than like the 10 or whatever that Core had. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Unlimited cloud gaming. You get the in-game benefits for Riot Games, like League of Legends or Valorant and stuff. Online console multiplayer, and then you can play and basically earn up to $25 a year in the store with Xbox Rewards, which is a free program that like you basically just have to click in and claim them as they pop up. With premium, you get 200 plus games playable on PC, console, and cloud,
which is a lot
for
of games.
$14.99 a month. Well, that's a lot of games. And honestly, I thought for sure the Game Pass would like cap out at like 100 or so games and then just rotate them in and out. I thought for sure they were going to keep the number like low. Now you'll get unlimited cloud gaming with shorter wait times, in-game benefits for Riot Games, online multiplayer, play and earn up to $50 a year in the store of rewards. And you also get new Xbox published games within a year of launch. Now, my only problem with that is that if you're dropping from Ultimate, there's no real reason to drop to Premium to get like what you're used to getting. It's either like if you really care about getting games day one, you have to be on Ultimate.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you should probably just drop to Essential. Like Premium, just like Standard,
Doesn't make sense.
doesn't quite make sense. Yeah. Like within a year is so ambiguous and so like not clear that like it just, and it would benefit Xbox to have their Xbox published games be day one on premium as well. If people are falling back to premium for that $15 price point, because like, first of all, that would incentivize people to fall back to it as opposed to just cancel entirely or go to the lowest tier.
Which a lot of people have done. And I also went to the lowest tier.
It's not that different from $19.99 a month. So it's not like they would lose that much revenue at all from the Ultimate people who are no longer willing to pay $30 a month, which, to be honest, has me on the fence, you know? And I am, as you said, a power user when it comes to Xbox. Like,
also, I want to throw out there, I don't appreciate that they have upped the price, and I know that they have informed everybody, and like they even informed me when I like turned on my Xbox and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
for people who do reoccurring billing, and then like it's just suddenly $10 a month, that's super
That
easy.
I
There's a
don't
lot of
love.
people
Yeah.
who are just going to start paying an extra $10 a month, and that's really not cool. Sorry. Anyway, continue.
I kind of agree with that. I think like
Like you
I
could
don't
say,
know
yeah,
what
they
else
did
you
everything they
do.
could,
Like, do
and
you
what? Well,
auto
you would just
cancel
cancel their
everybody?
membership.
Like, I mean,
You
like,
cancel their membership, yeah, and just be like, if they want it, they have to renew. You know. But how
yeah,
many people don't? How much do you think they're banking on? How many people don't really check it and don't really do that, and they're not going to notice? You know what I mean? You know they're going to
right,
make a bunch
yeah,
of money that way. Like we all
yeah.
know it,
I agree,
and
but I think
like
like
I'm not
I
happy
mean
about it.
like canceling everybody for them is kind of rough too. Like, I don't know.
Well, one of the options is you're going to lose a bunch of money, and one of the options is you're going to gain a bunch of money because people are lazy,
Right,
right? Like, and you're just like, listen, they opted into the auto recurring. Like, the responsibility is on them, but just knowing that that's going to be a part of it is really skeezy to me. Of like, there is, I am 100% sure there is a percentage that they're like, this percent of people aren't going to notice and they're not going to cancel right away,
right.
right? And we're just going to get extra money from them.
Yeah. And those will be the same people who've been paying 20 a month and not noticing or using Ultimate at all because they haven't
Right,
turned on their Xbox or whatever. Like, they
right.
probably have the emails going to their spam folders or whatever. Like, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I don't know. It's like a no-win situation kind of for Xbox
No,
either
yeah.
way.
Well, and that's
Like, I
what
mean,
happens
like
when you
either
freaking raise
they,
it
yeah.
ten
And
dollars.
like, that's
I
like,
mean,
yeah,
that's a 50% increase in price,
yeah,
right? It's a big increase in price. And
yeah.
really quick, I want to flip on here. I have a question for you. So for people who don't know, I've been living in Japan for a while, and one of the things that I do to keep me connected is I watch a lot of American movies and TV and stuff like that. And actually, a significant so in the past, a significant portion of my income would go to like buying movies. I would buy movies. I would often try to wait for them to be on sale on like iTunes and stuff, right? Or like Apple TV, whatever it is now. But I would buy digital copies of American movies. Because also often like movies don't necessarily come out here and stuff like that, right? Unless they're like a huge Disney movie or something.
Right.
Um, so I think I have more than 200 movies, I think, in like my movie library. But I don't really do that very much anymore. I at one point was like collecting all the Star Wars movies and all the Marvel movies, and I stopped because of Disney Plus, right? Like I have Disney Plus, I can already watch it, and also if I buy them on American iTunes, it doesn't necessarily have Japanese subtitles. I have a lot of movies that don't. On Disney Plus in Japan, they all have Japanese subtitles, so I can watch them with my Japanese friends, right? Like I have to have the subscription for that. And so I stopped, and all of the movies I have bought, I download them. So I actually keep the file, right? Just in case something happens. Um, but I don't really buy movies anymore. I just have subscriptions to streaming services. Dee, I know you used to buy movies quite a bit as well. Have you continued doing that, or is that a thing that you've stopped doing?
I still do occasionally. Like, I more than anything nowadays, I feel like I buy shows. Um,
Hmm.
because like
Same, same.
movies I
I would
can
say
like
exactly the
have
same.
on movies I can have on like every essential like app or whatever. If I purchase them, uh,
Right.
shows have to be on a specific one, whichever app that I do purchase them on. And so like sometimes I don't want to open different apps and I just want to go to the same one. So like
Hmm.
I'll buy shows to like have it in a place like so that I'm not going in between like Hulu and Netflix or whatever and all that. Like I'll just be able to open Apple TV and watch like the shows that I want to watch there instead of like trying to figure out which app it's on or like going between apps. Um in
Unless it's
terms of
like a
like
streaming show, right? Which then you can only do it on theirs, right?
but the other thing I do is I buy collections. So like
Mm.
I just bought like all the Jurassic Park movies because they were on sale as a collection. But even
Hmm.
if they weren't on sale, I probably still would have gotten them because, like, if it's a collection and I have them all ready to go, then and like I don't have to
Right.
worry about like, oh, I'm missing like this one or this one. Uh,
Right.
but
No,
short of
same,
that,
same. I
like
love that.
I would say that I've definitely declined on buying movies and TV shows overall since streaming started. Yes.
Same. Right. Same. And like I used to buy even before that, right? You'd buy DVDs or Blu-rays or whatever, and the same 100%. And like even though I didn't think I would, I did start like I was like, oh, even though we have this, even though it's on Disney Plus, I'm still going to buy it because I want to own it. But the truth was is that stopped, right? Because it's like, why am I going to spend this money and keep doing that? Like I'll just save the money and do this instead. And I think so that I'm going to flip on Game Pass here. That's like 100% what Game Pass is trying to do, right? It's the Netflix of gaming. You know what
Sure.
$30 a month is a great value for? Someone who owns zero video games. If you
Well,
buy a
and
console
yeah.
for the first time,
Mm.
if you buy an
Huh.
Xbox for the first time, you don't have a 15-year backlog of games that you have paid for. You have no games. Game Pass is the most incredible thing ever. The idea
Yeah.
that you could play hundreds of games that you've not been playing, right? What that's one of
Yeah.
the other hard things, right? Is it's like, okay, they're giving me all this stuff. I already played these games, right? I already own these games. I already bought them. I already played them. Like this is not actually a great value for me. Like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I could, disconnect my Xbox from the internet and play it because I just have it downloaded, right?
Right. Yeah.
But for someone who hasn't or like a kid, right? Think about a 14-year-old right now for $30 a month, what they could have access to in like
Right.
these crazy backlogs of games and all
Well,
that stuff. That makes sense. That sounds
and
awesome.
continue having access to as well. Like with the 75 plus day one games, like you're essentially with like the friends who like can afford to buy every game that comes out, you know? You're
Right.
there. You're with them. Like you're playing those day one games with them. You might have to buy a few yourself, but I mean like by and large like you're included in the conversation. Which going back to premium real quick, I think that's one of the biggest reasons why Xbox should make day one Xbox games on premium is because like then those games are in the conversation for more users, you know?
Right.
Like I mean like then it's a louder conversation, especially with like how so many people kind of like they call it the Xbox tax and I think it's mostly an internet thing. I don't think it's
Hmm.
as real or matters as much as most people say. But like
Hmm.
those games come out and people go, "Oh, they're not that impressive" or whatever because they're just on Xbox. First
Hmm.
of all, that's changing now. And when those games come
Right.
to PlayStation, what we're seeing is that they're the best sellers on PlayStation, which is
Right.
wild to see. Like, I
Right.
think 1 month recently, it was like 7 out of 10 of the best selling games on PlayStation were Microsoft. That's
Yeah.
kind of insane, but also like deserved because guess what? Xbox has built their studios, they've put in the work for years and literally decades at this point where we've been like going, where are the games? Where are the games? Well, guess what? They're here now. And most of them are really good games too. And like, I think Xbox would benefit, especially from
David is
like,
so passionate about it, he can't even speak.
uh,
Continue.
especially from like multiplayer games being like day
Hmm.
one, but even from like the single player games being day one and being a louder conversation on Game Pass Premium.
Well,
But
I would have stuck with premium. I think to be honest with you, the biggest deal breaker for me isn't the number of games, it's the day one
yep,
stuff. And that it doesn't even necessarily matter so much to me because to be honest, I don't really care that much about playing a game day one, but I care about it in the sense that it hasn't even been 6 months and they were like all of these games are day one on Xbox Game Pass
right,
and they're
yeah.
not right. And then it's like, oh, by the way, guess what? Now we have all these new tiers, and actually, it's only day one for these people, and I'm just like not as into it. But
Well,
you
and
are
we've
100% right. I would have continued paying. I would have gone to that middle tier if they would have had that be part of it.
well, the fact is that you just can't take things away from people. And the way that this restructuring works, they are taking things away from people. And if you are going to do that, you need to give them a place to land. Otherwise, they're going to have like additional like resentment or buyer's remorse or like, like be reticent to like trust you again. And like, I mean, we talked about this when like, obviously this was before our podcast started, but when YouTube Red started and then became YouTube Premium, we talked about this. We talked about this with like a whole bunch of like different things that added like additional tiers to them, or like changed tiers and like took away benefits. Like I went blue in the face talking about this with like Amazon Prime Video, and them introducing ads.
My God.
Like it's like
let's not even talk about the hell that you guys live in the United States. Not all of that stuff, but about the premium services you guys pay for that there are ads on. That's not a thing here. Amazon Prime is starting to do that here now too, like on the videos that they have ads. It's insane. What?
It's wild. It's absolutely wild. It's nonsense. It's like, I'm already paying for this, and now you're going to add ads to it, but you're going to say, hey, give us a little bit extra. We can remove those ads.
Give me $5 more.
I already had that. You took it away.
The thing that's funny to me is when we were in the States. When we were in the States, we were watching Disney Plus on my sister-in-law's Disney Plus account in America, right? And she had the ad tier, bro.
That drove me crazy, by the way.
It doesn't even matter if you're watching like an 8-minute video or a 2-hour video. It's a 2-minute ad. That also blew my mind. That it's like, this ad is like almost as long as the video they're going to watch on here. But like the reaction of my 2-year-old when an advertisement would come up in the middle of a movie and they're like, what is this? And they're like getting super pissed. I was like, thank you. Me too. I feel it. Me too. I'm mad.
Yeah. Well, and it's like just as bad with TV shows too, because it'll be like a 3-minute ad in the midst of like and granted, we're from the cable verse, like there used to be like 13 minutes of commercials spread out throughout like an hour of like, TV, but we weren't paying.
Dude, was it like 16? It was 16 minutes of commercials, right? Of 44 minutes. That's 16 minutes.
13 to 16, depending on, I feel like some of the shows were like specifically like 47 minutes, but
right. Guys, that's why episodes are 22 minutes, because there's 8 minutes of ads in a 30-minute block. Think about that. And people get mad at a Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
People get mad at a Twitch streamer for running 4 minutes of ads every hour.
When the streamer gets like half of the money from that too, like, I mean, like,
and it's like, man, on TV, dude, we were doing 16 minutes an hour of advertising. Like, ridiculous. Anyway, sorry, continue.
But things are supposed to be better now, and
I want to reflect on that a little bit, because I actually was talking about this with my wife about how I thought about a commercial like that was on a lot when I was a kid, and I talked to her about it, and she also remembers this commercial. And I was like, do you ever think about how different the world is for like a kid now compared to the world was when we were kids? My son, my 12-year-old son, he doesn't look at commercials. And I was like, when I was a kid, one of the things this sounds so dated, I watched Lord of the Rings all the time because it was my sick movie, because we didn't have Netflix or anything, right? And it's a 3-hour movie, so I could put it on, and I know I don't have to get up and change the movie for 3 hours. I could just lay down for 3 hours.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and the movies we could watch were the 15 movies we owned, right? Like my family owned, or like the 20 movies we owned. Most of the time we just rented. And I remember going to friends' houses, and some of my friends, it was so crazy because they would have like 100 movies to choose from that we could watch. And it was crazy. And now like everyone has access to something like that, right? Johnny doesn't rewatch movies. My son, I rewatch movies all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But why would he rewatch a movie when he could just watch a new one?
That's like, that wasn't crazy to me, but it totally makes sense. Yeah. Like, I mean, with the endless amount of content that you could consume, like why rewatch or reread or like, replay anything, I guess.
Right.
But like,
I'm playing Final Fantasy Tactics, and I was showing my wife, look at all of this stuff in the game, like all of the lore and the stuff you can read. And I was telling her, I'm like, when I would get stuck playing this game when I was a kid, I would read this stuff, right? About the world and about that stuff. And I would read it and try to understand it, or I would get bored, or I would just play the same game over and over again. My son, he doesn't do any of that because why would he? As soon as
Right.
he gets bored playing Helldivers, he immediately switches to like Monster Hunter or Apex or something, right? As soon as he gets, the second he gets bored doing that, he switches to something else. And it's just kind of crazy how different the world is now. And it's
Yes.
only been like 2 decades, right?
Yeah.
And
That's
like,
the thing that blows my mind is how short a time it's been since the world has changed so much.
and with Game Pass, for example, you know, so like I talked about, okay, so like realistically, I would say probably for the past, since the girls have been born, I haven't had as much time to play games. I've probably bought maybe 4 games a year. So Game Pass, if I averaged it out. So Game Pass Ultimate isn't necessarily worth it to me, but if you were to stop buying games, period, you just, like we do movies, just
Right.
don't buy them anymore unless you really want it, but you just don't pay for it anymore. The subscription actually isn't a bad deal.
It isn't, but like I still think it needs a value add because I think you can add all these things up together for the $30 a month, and you can go, yeah, see, monetarily it's worth it. But I think it's still hard to like put it on a scale with how much
Right.
people care about that stuff and like have the scale weigh for favorably. It's one of the things where, yeah, you might miss it when it's gone, but like having it, like you're questioning it like constantly,
The
like, is this
problem
worth
is
30
that what
bucks a
they
month?
don't need tiers, they need add-ons in the sense
Yeah,
of like, you know, I would pay $20 a month for Game Pass and day one stuff, and I would opt out of the Fortnite pass, right? I
sure.
would opt
Yeah.
out of certain things,
But that gets so
but then
messy
maybe
too.
it,
Like,
it
cause then
gets
it's
messy,
like
but
a la
that gets
carte.
into the thing where people could, well, exactly. That's the problem. But like you said, as far as the value add-on, like the reason they can't put the day one on premium is because then what's the point of Ultimate?
Right.
That's how they
Well,
would feel
like,
about it, right? Well, then no one's going to have Ultimate. No one's going to pay for the most expensive one. Apple is way better at these pricing ladders than Microsoft is.
I
Oh
would agree.
my
Yeah.
God. Like
Like there's a world
ridiculous.
where cloud gaming is 2K consistently across the board, and you can just plug in a USB like Xbox device into a TV, or if it's a smart TV, just use the app that's already installed on it and like be playing a game in 2K like immediately. And I could see that being like, oh, hey, this is actually like really cool, you know? But like to try to communicate that in a marketing sense is such a difficult thing to do. Same with like Ubisoft Plus. Ubisoft Plus is actually kind of underrated when it comes down to it. It flies under the radar. There are actually a bunch of quality Ubisoft Plus games that you've probably never played because you're like, Ubisoft, I've played them all or whatever, you know? I mean, but when it comes down to it, like it being included in Game Pass Ultimate like gives you a reason to play them. But like you have to commit to that $30 a month price point to be able to do so. Like, I don't know. Like the best idea I had, I have 3 ideas. One is to make Ubisoft Plus Ubisoft Premium instead, which they'll never do because they would have to pay Ubisoft that extra money, probably, you know. Um, but that would include all DLC for Ubisoft games and a deluxe edition and day one, which would be really, really neat. That'd be like Game Pass times two, you know, a little bit. But they'll never do it.
I have the best option. Here's the best. Here it is. Here it is. We just fixed it. You ready? Totally get
Well,
rid of the lowest level that I did. Get rid of that bottom tier. Okay. Minimum payment is like that, the whatever the premium is now, and that's
15, sure.
$15. Okay.
Yeah.
Next level, $20. There are 2 options. There is the single player option, which is all of the single player games, all of that stuff, but no Fortnite, none of that, those add-ons. And then there's the multiplayer option, which focuses more on like, those kinds of things. And then the $30 tier is both of the $20 tiers combined.
Well, that's
So it's
kind of
like, oh,
what they
you save
try to do.
$10.
Like that's
Yeah,
kind of
but
what
they
they
didn't do a
tried to
good
do with
job.
like splitting PC and console, you know, originally.
Right. But that was the thing I wanted to bring up of that, like, not splitting PC and console, but the problem with like it doesn't feel like a value add-on is because it's targeting two different groups of people. It's trying to
Yeah,
target, hey, you want to play a lot of games, you like to play single player games, look at all these cool single player indie games you can play, look at all these cool single player AAA games you can play. But they're also trying to add on value, but they're adding on value from the people who only play one game. Why do they care about all those other games?
right.
Right? Oh,
Yeah.
well, like,
Like, well, but the idea I told you about that I think would actually be the best idea would be, you know what? Single in on those people. Go extra hard at them. Include a WoW subscription
oh my God,
on
that would be
Ultimate.
so good.
And
Yeah.
like
Include a
boom,
WoW subscription,
because like
please.
then like you have all these
Include
people
a
who
WoW subscription and announce WoW for Xbox.
yeah, yep,
Boom.
exactly. Yeah. And like then you have all the people who like only play WoW who suddenly have a lot more games to potentially play and spend money on, because like they will, like Helldivers at least, by I mean granted that's not on Game Pass, but like Halo has like microtransactions, like there's a bunch of different like games with
Good
DLC
Lord.
like
Can we get a Halo WoW crossover? When
oh
is
my
that
gosh.
happening?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I mean, like, include a WoW subscription. All the WoW players like suddenly have this world open up to them if they go to Ultimate, and it's only for like twice what they're already paying. And then all the Game Pass gamers who wouldn't ordinarily dial in and play a single game like WoW, like now have WoW open to them. And like even if MMOs have never really appealed before, or if that's like if they're used to game jumping a lot, like they might dive in, and then you have a wider player base for WoW. Like WoW is then like indisputably king of MMOs if you do that, Like I mean
Okay,
like you
so
would increase your player base so much, Just
I really liked playing WoW a lot. I really liked it. I was playing it on my Steam Deck, and it's funny because now I have a USB keyboard too. So like it would be even better now, like a wireless keyboard I can just use with my Steam Deck. I ended up deleting it off there just because I didn't want to pay the subscription because I felt like if I'm paying that subscription, I need to play it compared to other things. If it was in Game Pass, I wouldn't feel that way. I would feel like I
yeah.
could play it and it's not a big deal.
Well, exactly. Like I've resubbed and then canceled my subscription so many times for a while. Just because it's like, oh, well, I'm playing it a little bit more this month. Oh, I don't really feel like it this month. But if it was in
No,
Game Pass, I wouldn't say I'd be like, yeah, no, Game Pass is absolutely worth it in that case. But yeah,
I still think even it's hard because I understand that like for people who are paying $20 a month and like the added benefits don't necessarily affect them. I'm one of those people.
yeah,
To pay $10 more, it like you said, you feel like you're losing something. It doesn't feel worth it. I would still argue that it's still a good deal.
I would
And,
agree with you, but I think it's way
and I
more
would say
like you have to
it's
think
a good
about it.
deal, but it just doesn't um not even that you have to think about it. What is it? It's like when we watch the Minecraft movie and you're like, "Oh, this isn't for me." Like
Sure.
it's a good
Yeah.
deal, but like the add-ons are not targeting me specifically, so I don't love it. Like that's how I feel about it.
Right. Yeah.
And I am one of the people who lowered my thing. I'm on the basic level now, and we'll see that'll kick in. But again, right now, the only game that I have even installed that's a Game Pass game is Claire Obscure, right? And so maybe I'll just buy it
Yeah.
because
That's
to be
one thing that
fair,
they took away
buying the
that I kind of
game.
hate
Oh, go ahead.
is games on Game Pass used to have a 10% discount, which
Hmm.
wasn't much, but it was kind of nice because it was like, oh, this game's on Game Pass. I really like it. I kind of want to like either support the devs or
Oh,
like
is the
not
discount
lose it
not there
if it's a
anymore?
non Xbox. And they took that away. Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. The
Yeah.
game
But
right now,
it
the
wasn't a
last I
huge
checked, I think it's
discount
on
either. So
sale. I think it was like
yeah,
$45 the last time I checked it. Here, flip side, that's just 1.5 months of Game Pass.
that's true. That's very true.
You know, like if
Yeah.
you think about it like that, of like, oh well, like I'll definitely play this game for 2 months. You know,
And
it's hard.
like either I could see two things happening. I could see the quality of Game Pass games continues to like explode with the 75 plus day ones and all that. which could make it potentially like worth the 30, or that like cloud gaming gets to a point where you know what, you don't even need a console anymore. You can just pay the $30 a month for Game Pass and just play anywhere, and it's the same as playing at home. You know, like there's a world where that's possible. I feel like we're kind of far away from it, but also I hear really good things about Nvidia's like cloud streaming thing, so maybe we're not that far away. I mean, I guess we'll kind of see also when the Xbox allies come out, like how
Yeah.
well that they can handle cloud streaming, because they're like right on the horizon. They come out like what, the 16th, I think, is their release date.
Well, that's the flip of it, though, too, D. Like I compared it to movies earlier. I mean, there was a time that we didn't that like streaming and like, oh, you're gonna stream directly from your TV, or you're gonna have a puck plugs into your TV, and you're not actually gonna have the files for your movies. You're just gonna stream them over the internet, and it's gonna be high quality and like you would like it. That didn't seem possible either, right? It
True.
just seemed like
Yes,
really
that's
far
very
away.
true. Yeah.
And
And we
we do
could see
that.
games hit that point where it's like literally it doesn't matter that I'm not at home. Guess what? That's totally fine. Actually, I don't even want to wait the like 20 minutes that it would take me to get home to like jump on right now and quickly do this mission with my buddy who's like waiting for me, you know? Like I mean,
Mhm.
that there's a world where that becomes like the norm, where it's like, yeah, sure, it's a little better at home, but not to the point where like like you need to worry about it, or you know.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah. But
Is
so
there anything else? Oh,
the
go
ROG
ahead. Go ahead.
Xbox Allies come out on the 16th. This was announced like shortly before the Game Pass hikes. Bad timing,
Hmm.
all in all.
Yeah.
But Microsoft seems to love to do that, where they like pile all their bad news like super close together, and then just take the hits one after another after another. Uh, the the reason why it's bad news potentially is that the Xbox Ally X is retailing at $999.99,
Good
uh,
Lord,
which
what?
is like $1,000, and the
That's a
Xbox
thousand
Ally
dollars.
is retailing at far more reasonable and far more like market like comparable, $599.99, which
That
I
is
think is
also
about
expensive. That is
it is
all.
expensive. It is about also what I paid for my ROG Ally though, you know. So I mean,
Everybody,
like, yeah.
everybody needs to apologize to Nintendo right now, complaining about the Switch 2 prices.
Uh,
Everybody needs to apologize to
yes,
them because
true.
what? Before everyone's like, "Oh, Johnny, what about?" It doesn't matter. What a thou? Oh my God!
$1,000, yeah. For comparison,
Who?
the ROG Ally X, the non-Xbox branded one, retails at like around 800, I think, is what it came out as. So like that's $200 more expensive for the Xbox Ally X. So you kind of got to wonder why a little bit. Uh, I'm sure that tariffs probably played at least a little bit of a play in that. But like, I don't know. They seem cool. People seem, excuse me, people seem to be mm, reviewing them very highly. But like, that is a lot to pay for a handheld.
Okay,
$1,000. Like, I mean, like
this
you
is
could build
where
a
this is
nice
where we're going to
PC
talk
for
about
about
this.
that
This is where we're going to talk
relatively.
about this. I I think people just have more expendable income than me. That just must be it. People just must
No.
have more money because
Ah,
$1,000,
hmm.
$1,000.
And a bunch of people are buying them too. But like they sold out like almost immediately. Both of them, like from most retailers. Like you can find them if you look, but they're sold out from most. Like I think they're on like the third wave of sales or something like that. Um, and they're selling pretty well. But also though, I don't think it's necessarily that people have a lot more expendable income. I think COVID taught people to like use credit way more flexibly, uh, which is probably not a good thing.
Just okay. Like what time is it? Man, we need to be wrapping up. Okay, so here's the thing with handhelds though too. So it has been established on this podcast that I live in Japan. One of the things that really makes sense here is handhelds, right? Most people take trains, right? You walk to the train, you
Hmm.
take the train and you commute and stuff like that. Some people take buses. I was at a coffee shop recently and there was a group of boys, maybe like 5 boys sitting outside in like this grassy area, and they were playing on their Switches. I don't know what game they were playing, but they were using the local thing that Switch does so they could all play a game together on their individual Switches. It was really cool to see, like, oh yeah, that's what this is designed for, is designed for kids to meet up somewhere and they can play together without Wi-Fi, right? That's super cool. Um, Handhelds really make sense in Japanese culture and like the way that people live their lives. But to pay $1,000 for a handheld, to me, and like, listen, no judgment. Like, if you want to just play in bed or something, but it seems like a lot of money to spend on something that, like, when realistically, what's the difference of using that versus like if you're just already at home anyway, you could be on your computer or on your console or something. Does that make sense?
I would
Like,
agree. Like, I mean,
the portability of it. When do you really use the portability of it? Kind of a
right.
deal.
Like that just seems like a lot to play games at a not great quality, like not the
Right.
highest quality or whatever.
And especially
Like
if you
that.
have to stream
Yeah.
it, if you have to stream games to it, so it's like, okay, you know what, D? This for real. For real. I would like you to test this. Test some game streaming at a Starbucks.
That's
What
actually
about
something that I
Starbucks
kind of want to do. Yeah. Is test it
Starbucks
like
internet or
remotely in
like
like a Walmart parking lot on like,
McDonald's?
like on a hotspot, like at a public Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Yeah,
I do want to
at
do
like
that.
a
Yeah.
at like a
I'll probably take my
McDonald's,
ROG
right? Like,
Ally and test that
yeah,
out. Yeah.
and just try it because it's like, I guess that's the use case, or at least that's like the supposed use case, right?
Well,
And like,
and
if it
dude,
runs
like,
well there, that's really cool.
and honestly, like if it plays better than it does natively, like for instance, Diablo, I had to turn so many settings down for
Right,
Diablo on my ROG Ally for it to like play like even like halfway decently. And
right.
like if I could stream it and play it at a higher quality than that, like that would be actually really neat. That would actually be really cool. That would completely fix like any problems that I have with like playing games at quote unquote lower qualities or whatever, you know?
No, actually, same. That's a good point. Maybe I should try
Yeah.
that with some of this other stuff because, I mean, we talked about it. The only game I've done on streaming was, at one point I was streaming Ark Survival Evolve, but the way that that worked, because it was also back when streaming games was bad, is that Ark just ran like trash anyway, right?
Yeah.
So like the
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
runs badly, and so streaming it ran badly, but it really wasn't that different than playing
From
it
actually
normally
playing the
because
game. Yeah.
it ran badly that way too, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. Anyway, any closing thoughts, D, on this very Xbox Game Pass heavy episode?
I hope Farmer comes back so I can talk about what I really want to talk about. Which
I
yeah.
hope that I still stand by. I think, for example, Xbox is a great deal for someone like, for like kids or people who are just getting into gaming, like Xbox Game
I think,
Pass. It's a really
man,
good deal.
400 plus games, 75 plus day one. I think it's a good deal for people who play a lot of games too. I think it just doesn't happen to appeal to those who don't play that many
Right.
games, but own like all the games that they could want to play. Like people
Well,
like you,
that,
basically.
or
Like, I mean, like,
it just seems like, uh, I hope that they're making these decisions based on some metrics that we don't have access to. That's
right.
all,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I hope they're not just doing this stuff, because to me it doesn't make sense. But I don't know. Maybe everyone is cloud gaming, and specifically cloud gaming Fortnite on Xbox Game Pass, and that's why they're adding the Fortnite crew stuff and beefing up all that. Like, really, maybe that's the case.
Now
I
that I
don't
think
know.
about it,
They would know.
there's two more quick notes. Um, there's rumors that they're about to introduce free cloud gaming for like I think it was a limited number of hours per week or like 1 hour sessions at a time with
Mhm.
commercials.
Oh my God.
And that's how they would fund
No.
it is like it would be free, but you would have to watch commercials.
You're like
I
about to block in like something, and then a commercial starts up,
but it
and
could
then
be a
the commercial ends, and
it.
you miss your block,
I mean, it's
and you
essentially
get
it's almost
killed.
like it might become like the modern day version of trials, trials and demos in that
Mm.
case.
Also,
I
really
like I
quick
mean,
flip note
and
on
an
that.
hour isn't that short, I mean, like, yeah.
Now I want to try this cloud gaming stuff, but then I'm on like the basic tier, so like it's not going to be as
Right.
good.
Yeah.
That,
Um
but I don't want to.
which there's
Anyway,
been
sorry. Go
there's
ahead.
been like questions about like whether like how ethical is it to like gate the quality of cloud gaming, but also streaming's been gating the quality of streaming since like streaming became a thing. So I mean,
Right.
I kind of don't lend those a lot of credence. The other thing too is the one thing that we didn't really talk about is like why. Like maybe it is that much more expensive, or maybe they did a cost benefit analysis and decided like, well, we're gonna offer enough to justify this $30. But also, Microsoft is involved like investing so much into AI that there's a good chance that like they're just trying to like get money from anywhere. Like
Yeah.
there's a good chance that this restructure is kind of greed get driven when it comes down to it. Uh, which I think bears like reflecting on a little bit because Microsoft is a giant corporation and this does kind of fit their pattern of continuing to like do whatever they can to scrape up the cash so that they can uh, invest in the black hole that is AI. So
Right.
it does fit that pattern. I mean, whether that's the primary motivation is like, kind of we'll probably never know. It's kind of up to you to kind of decide in your own heart where Jesus lives. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got.
I think that it would be important to not forget that Microsoft is a corporation whose goal is to make money.
Yep,
And
100%. Yeah,
and
like it or not, and they've been profit
how
driven
can you
lately. Like, I mean,
push
even with Xbox, like, yeah,
well, how can you push the market, right? How far
yeah,
can you push the market and make a little bit of extra cash, and is it worth it, and all of that stuff? Like it would be important to remember that, a for-profit industry, that's what they care about. And maybe not everybody, but like at the end, that's the bottom line, right?
yep,
Is like, okay, well, like we need to bring in money, and how much can we bring in, and what can we charge people for before they stop? I mean, everybody canceling their memberships. Look, Disney did it, right, with Kimmel, and they brought him back, and people expressed their displeasure. There is a chance that if a lot of people canceled and such, they would restructure again because they are actually losing money.
right.
Who
That's true
knows?
too. Yeah, voting with wallets
But
is still like an effective means of like
yes.
affecting the marketplace. Yeah,
Um, and so if you are unhappy with it, then one of our friends in Discord talked about that. He canceled his Game Pass recently. And one of the reasons I don't buy multiple months of Game Pass at a time is because I want to be able to cancel it if I just feel like, what, like I don't think that this is serving me anymore.
right.
And I would recommend people, especially in, like you brought up, in this time, money's tighter and all of that stuff. You know, don't let them get you. That's how you get got. And on that note, make sure you like and subscribe and share this with your friends and all that stuff. And we'll see you next week with Farmer. Bye.
Get out of here, Craig.